Daniel, Patrick, and let me do the device settings as well. Okay, so wonderful. Can I have someone just unmute themselves and say something, a good morning or something? Because I just want to check my speakers, everything is working fine.
Morning,
Good
Norman.
morning.
How are
Good
you?
morning. Thank you. Yes, I'm good. Thank you very much. All right, so we are all set. Recording is also started. And now I would like to show you, and this will be quite an interesting, fun stuff that we're starting. So let me share my screen. Good morning, Manny, John, and others who are joining in. All right, so I'm expecting that now you're looking at my screen as well. So we were discussing the DOM in our front end part, and what I've done today, just to let you know, because I just did that before. Last week we were in week 5. A quick review of last week. The last thing that we did was the events.html. We tried to play with the events. We saw that it's an interesting ploy that we can even use, like, and this was the events script that we had, that we can actually access the X position of the mouse and the Y position of the mouse by using the event that is generated by our, like, by elements, and we can generate those events from the, like, from the elements, and then we can associate the events with the elements. So today I'll continue my discussion on that. And today I'll introduce some of the very, very interesting concepts. So what I've done for today is that I have created a new folder for myself, week 6, in which there is a folder of pages. Oh, Valentine, I don't know what that might be the issue. If someone else can help Valentine out. So then we have, like in pages, we have index.html, and inside pages, we have a scripts file, which we will be just using. So I've just set up like the housekeeping stuff. So I'm just setting up my first file for week 6. So again, this would be a new file. And again, we will be working some nice DOM things over here. And I will give you a very interesting practice today. Not only that, I would just basically. So if I just show you again for last week, that last week we talked about some very important thing, that whenever whenever we click, like, we associate an event to an element, that event is actually passed as the function, like as the function, like, parameter. And uh, and then we can use this event to get a lots of important information. And today, what I'll do is that I will be giving you the same practice of that kind of thing. But today I will tell you another method, which is far more important, far more interesting than than the previous one. So today we'll just talk about that one. So what I'll do is, like, again, I'll just close this week 5. Now I'm in week 6. So what I'm doing is, again, we are doing a DOM project, a little DOM project, or DOM practice, I can call it. Rather than project, it should be a DOM practice that we'll do today. And again, I would like to connect to my script. So script src equal to, and I know that I'll have to go back in the scripts, and there is a script.js. So quickly checking so this is not events, and I have to work on scripts. Just quickly checking if a script is working. And this is something that I would highly recommend you, because, sometimes so if I run that one, sometimes you do everything, and then you come to know that your script is even not working. So that's of no use, right? So always check your script beforehand, so that you see that my script is working. The script is very much attached to this one, and that seems like a good idea. Like, it's a good thing that is happening, right? All right, so it means my script is working, everything is good, and I don't want this alert anymore, because that's an annoying alert. I don't want this alert, but I'm very sure that my file is connected, and my file is basically connected with that one. All right, so yeah, So let's start our today's practice. And again, I'll just go in the same way as we did before, or maybe we can just go with some other way. Like let's start another thing. So that day we did the practice with the cat. Now how about we should do it today with the dog? Let's take a dog example and we'll just run that one. And again, I would like to just run side by side. And again, you know that I always do that water CSS I add, and that really gives me a little bit of cool look of my website. So I always copy this one and I come in my head and I paste that, and this water CSS should be applied to this one. Oh, I did not paste that. Oh, it was not copied by the way. So I'll just do the water CSS, and yes, Ellen, soon. It should be there today. Definitely it should be there today. Okay, that's wonderful. So I'll just come here and I'll just paste it over here and I hit save. And you see that now my document looks a bit better with uh, the link, right? So we are just starting today with that one. Now, I would like to bring some doc pictures in my file. So first of all, what I'll do is that let's go to Unsplash, and again, Unsplash is our resource for free, like pictures and everything. Why not? Let's go there and find out some document. Okay, so what I'll do is that so for example, let's bring this one. Download small. I've just downloaded the small one, and it should be in my downloads. I'll cut this one from here, and what I'll do is that I would paste it in my folder. So what I'll do is that I'll just go directly to my folder, and again, I will be creating a folder in my lectures. In week 6, inside pages, I'll create a folder called images, and I would like to paste that picture over here that I cut from there, and I'll call it, for example, dog1. I'll just call it dog1. It's a JPG file, so it will remain JPG. So I just have a picture over there, and I want to bring that picture. So I have just copied that over here, and the benefit of that is that I would have this images here, which has a dog1 picture over here, and I'll just keep that one. Okay, so now what I want to do is that I want to bring this picture here. img src is equal to /images dog1.jpg. I'll say dog, and I'll say, for example, width equal to 300. Let's do that 300 width. Let's bring that. It looks a bit bigger. Why not make it 200? Right. So this looks good. So we have got a picture over here of dog, right? And we we want to do something very interesting. All of you, please go again in our files section, and in our scripts, make a new script, and let's call it dogs.js. Dogs.js, because I'm about to do something real cool. Dogs.js. And here in this one, I would like to say, for example, I'll say let dogs is equal to array. I want to create an array over here. Now, array of what? Array of some dog picture. So again, I'll go to unsplash.com. And if I say dog, and again, what I'll do is now, so I'll copy now URLs. So I copy the image address, and I'll come here. See here what I'm doing. And in the end, if you are unable to do that, I will do that for you. I'll share the code with you. And comma. So this is the first picture, comma, inverted commas. I would go for some other picture. Copy image address. After comma, inverted commas, I'll place this one, then comma. So again, I'm collecting some URLs. Let's take this one, copy image address, this one, and let's take this one, copy image address. So I am just copying, and if you are unable to do so, no worries, I'll paste that for you guys. So let's take 5 of them, maybe one more. Let's take this one, copy image address. Now I've got a file where I have got an array of URLs that are of dog pictures. Again, if someone was unable to do that, no worries. I'll copy this and I'll paste it for you. I'll paste it for you here because, sometimes some guys will not be able to copy and paste from there, or cannot do that. So I'm just sharing the code over here. You get the code here. You should have the code now. Right. So we have certain few images URLs over here in our file. All right. Now let's go back to our HTML. In HTML, I want to give this dog picture an ID as well. ID is equal to dog again with a small d, right? Because it's ID. ID generally we give it a small. And why I'm giving that? So that when I click on this picture, a new picture appeared of the dog. So I want to use that dog picture for changing the picture. Like again, we can have a button as well. We can have lots of things, but let's do it with the dog. So now you remember that this was our docs.js. So I'll just close that for a second. In our script, if I want to access this dog picture, how would I access that one? Do you guys remember that one? Var dog is equal to document dot query selector. And what is the ID that I've given? I've given an ID of dog. Do you guys understand that one? I have got the reference of this picture. Step number 1 is always get the reference of something. Get reference of the dog picture in JavaScript. So we have got the dog picture reference in JavaScript. Do you guys remember that one? Query selector hash dog. If it was document.getElement by ID, there was no hash. Hash always comes when there is a query selector method. I hope you guys remember that. So there are 2 ways of doing that. I'm just writing it for remembrance purpose. Dog is equal to document dot get element by ID. And if I can write dog ID right directly. Now I'll have to just change that dog one. So if you see here, I can access the dog element by using this one, get element by ID, or I can access by query selector. But if you are using a query selector, you need to use a hash with that one. Do you guys remember that? I just wrote it for the reference for reminding purpose. Element by ID, you don't need a hash because it's the ID by the way we know. But if it is query selector, you need to tell query selector that I am using an ID. I want you to access an ID over here. Can I have a thumbs up from everyone? Do you guys understand? I just wanted to give you a quick review of that part as well. The element by ID is used with the direct ID and query selector is used with the hash ID. Wonderful. So I'll just comment it so that someone who wants to look at that later on. Okay, how do we do that? They know. Oh yeah, sure, Jennifer. Index has just one H1 and one image with script connected. Right, Jennifer? It has one image and ID of dog is with small d dog. And again, since it is repeating, so I'll say, so for example, alt is equal to pet, something like that. So, so that dog is not repeated, right? So this is the HTML. Now I got the reference of this one. And you remember, now I have got the reference of this picture area. And I can associate an event with that one. Associate an event with dog, not dog one, because I call it one because it was there. So I'll just call it dog element. I've got the reference of dog element and now I want to associate. So do you remember we used to do that? Dog dot on click is equal to, I can run a function here. And I would say a function, just console something. Dog clicked. Now, dog clicked. So I'm just trying to give you something. So let's see if we have done this successfully. If I open up my console here, and I come here and I click on this dog, I click on this dog picture. Do you guys see that it is working? Console is giving me output. Jennifer, do you understand that it is one way of checking if the function is working fine or not? Is that making sense to everyone? That dog.onClick. First of all, get the reference of dog from the HTML page. I got the reference. It could be a button. It could be anything that I can get reference of. And then I can associate an event with that one as the function. Right? Now, we have done that already. What I want to do today, I want to tell you another way of associating event. And mostly we will be using that way. So again, Jennifer, please don't confuse that with those things that there are multiple ways and which one is preferred. The one that I'm about to use, I would prefer always that, but this was just to, make you aware of the events that on click is an event and on double click is an event, and there are lots of this. So what I'll do, I'll just mark it comment, and not only comment, I'll put it at the top of the document so that it is not a hindrance in our understanding. I'll just put it the top as the notes or something. So another way of associating events to elements is called add event listener. That is called dog.add event listener. Now, what comes in? First of all, the first thing comes is the name of the event. Like we can say just click. And here we can have a function that we want to run exactly the same way as we were doing before. Console.log .click. Now, we will be mostly using this way of attaching event. Now, first of all, let's read this. I have a dog element on my web page. I get the reference of that dog in my dog variable, which is JavaScript. And I say dog.add event listener click. When someone clicks on this dog, run this function. Are you guys getting that one? Run this function. And the syntax is very simple. If you can see that syntax, first of all, the event comes and then that one comes. So then first of all, let's check that one, whether it is working fine or not. Yes, it is working fine. If I say, there is something called DBL click, double click. If I do that, I'm clicking on this dog and you see dog click not work. If I double click quickly, maybe I'm not using the right spelling. Okay, let's see that. Double click event. Let's see that, because maybe sometimes I'm. Okay, yeah, so spelling is correct. Okay, we'll just check that one. Double click event is we'll just use most of the events, but right now we'll check that one. Right now I don't know why it's not working. Same idea applies to alerts, etc. Yes, it's all. So for example, Patrick, I can do that rather than consoling. I can say alert dog clicked. So Patrick, it's just like I'm telling you that checking this one. So you see that alert opens up when I click on this one. So the summary that I want to tell you here, rather than any specific details, I want to tell you that actually what happens is that when we click on this event listener, we actually fire a function with the event. That is, again, if you remember, E. And you guys remember that we talked about this E is the event. So what I'll be doing, I'll make it bigger. What I'll be doing most of the time, I'll be using that syntax, and out of that syntax, even after that syntax, we will use another simplified syntax. Look at that. I will just write the name of the function over here. For example, I say handle click. Without the function sign, handle click. Right? We can define like that as well. We just call the function with its name, and we say that we just want to run this function over here. And now this function, we can define this function separately just for our purpose, like for whatever we want to do. For example, I come here and I say function handle click, right? I have a function handle click and that says console.log dot click. Now I wanted to show you that this is also a possibility that we just write the event and write the function name, and we define that function later on with the function keyword over here. So these are all the ways of doing all those kind of things. Let me check this one if it is working fine still. If I click and it says doc clicked, doc clicked, doc clicked. I'm clicking on that and it says doc clicked. Now, if you are thinking why we will be using add event listener rather than on click one, so I don't want to go into detail, but I'm giving a hint. If someone wants to read about that, they will read that. When we use sequentially, Valentine, that's a very interesting fact about JavaScript. JavaScript has an interesting nature. It does not go sequentially. It actually finds out. Like, let me tell you another thing. If I just go here and if I define this function over here, Valentine, I know where you are coming from. I know where you're coming from. You see, doc clicked still works. So JavaScript has this weird behavior that even I have defined the, like, it's of course we've defined the function first, but even if you define the function later on, JavaScript will still recognize that one. You see that it recognizes doc click is there. So again, I was saying that on click and add event listener. So on click, just understand that on click has a bug by default that if I have two on clicks, the second on click will take over the first on click. And it will change the data or do something. Just remember that one. Or if you want to just keep it very simple, just remember that we will be using doc.event. So that's interesting thing. You can even define a function. Yes. So that's something that you have to keep in mind. That it's like JavaScript has this tendency of defining a variable later on, and before that, just doing that one. You're right. So that's something very interesting. All right. Let's move forward and let's see what we are trying to do over here. So, one of the concept is that if we want to be very sure that everything is loaded and then we run our document. So, if you remember, in the beginning, I told you that a script can be put over here in the body towards the end, or a script can be put in the head as well. Do you guys remember that one? So you were thinking at that time, what is the difference between the script putting over here? So remember that even that if you want to make yourself very sure that whether the script has been successfully loaded or not, what we do is that rather than writing the events like inside events directly, we use a technique. And what is that technique? I'll just let you know that what's technique. We use that window object, window is the giant object, and we attach an event listener to window. And what is that event listener? Listen that DOM content loaded. DOM content loaded. I say that whenever the DOM content is loaded, then run this function. Are you guys getting that one? Windows.add event listener, DOM content loaded. Yeah, like what it will happen that it will make sure that everything of this window has been loaded. Then this function will run. So what we usually will do, and I'm doing that right now. What we usually will do, I'll just cut this all from here. And I will always place my code inside that one, Did you guys get what I'm trying to say? Window is the giant object, and I want to say that unless the window is completely loaded, all the DOM contents are loaded, then you run this function, and this function has a lot of things inside that one. Don't worry about that. So this becomes one way or other, this becomes our main wrapper for that one. So everything gets loaded, and then you just run that one and then just do this one. Wonderful. So someone says that it's making sense. It's making a good sense to them. That's wonderful. Okay. So now I told you that like this is so remember that every function when event is generated, that event is passed over here. And do you guys remember who will tell me what we were doing with the e-dot stop propagation? Does anyone remember the use of stop propagation? I did that before. Stop propagation. So it means that, first of all, the first thing that you have to keep in mind, we will write our all code generally inside this event. Window.event listener dot content loaded, like DOM content loaded. Now we will write that one. So now, does anyone remember a stop propagation? Anyone? Stop propagation. Stop propagation does what? It stops the propagation of event. Yes, event from child to parent, from child to parent. So if I click on this one, it just keeps this click on the dot. Do you guys remember we did something with the body click as well? It won't take that to the body. So again, just remember stop propagation. E is an important thing, and we'll just talk about this one. E. Now let's come back over here. I don't want to console something. Rather, I want to do something. Look at that. What I'll do. I want to say that when someone clicks on this dog, do what? Do what? We have one element like itself. I'm saying itself dog dot src is equal to. Please look at it very carefully. src is equal to, and for example, src is equal to, I'll take a URL, and again, I have the URLs over here. So I'll copy URL from here. Rather, let's copy this one. Control C. Now see here, I'm saying the src should become this when someone clicks on the dog picture. Look at that, what I'm saying. Whenever someone clicks on dog, like this picture, by itself, this picture, its name is, can you go back for a minute and explain why you put it all inside window? Yeah, Ellen, I'll just go back. And Ellen, look at that. Ellen, actually, this code makes sure that all the DOM contents are loaded before you run any code. Actually, what happens is that, if sometimes if the dog is not loaded in your memory and it tries to access this dog, you will get an error. So Ellen, if we put our code inside .add event listener DOM content loaded, it will make very sure that everything is loaded before we are doing any action on the dog picture or anything else. Ellen, does that make a little sense to you? It will actually make sure that everything is ready. Okay, that I'll Patrick, I'll define that. Definitely I'll define that. What is stop propagation? That's wonderful. So stop propagation will do what? Patrick, last time we discussed. I'm getting an error because I don't have name for the function, but you don't have one either. Oh, Natalina, it's the name should name like function name. I have just put over there and I've defined that function over here. I have the name of the function handle click E. Look at the code if you can try. So Patrick, the stop propagation will do what? Let me just quickly, for those who understand, I know they understand, but for for Patrick, I'm just doing one thing that I will delete this one from document dot body window and DOM content loaded function. Oh, I see. We are getting error over there. Would you mind sharing your screen for a second, Valentine? Oh, sorry, Natalina. Would you mind sharing your screen? I would be better able to see that. Or maybe you can make sure, I'm just opening it out. You can make sure that the curly brackets are also there. Maybe you forgot the curly brackets. Maybe you forgot the rounded parenthesis, because parenthesis will also come because we are doing everything inside this one. So parenthesis should also come. Or Natalina, let's make it simple. I'll share this code with you guys in its exact form. Let me share this code. That would be good. You can compare this then. I have shared my code. Look at that, right? All right. So yes, Patrick, to your question, what I can do is that I can say, for example, I'll tell you. And again, those who know, dot body dot on click. So I'm just doing one thing very quickly just to show you. Equal to run a function console.log body clicked. And Patrick, by the way, I discussed this, and this is just adding this. Just don't worry about that one. Document.body.onClick. Patrick, do you understand that whenever someone click on the body, it will console.log body clicked? And by the way, since we are just taking an example. I'm just doing a console here again. Doc clicked. Now see here. So I'll show you inspector. Look at the console. Look at that. Patrick, when I click on the dog, it says if I just take away the stop propagation, by the way, sorry. I wanted to tell you. When I click on the dog picture, Patrick, look at that. When I click on the dog picture, it says dog clicked and body clicked. When I click on the body, it says body clicked. Dog click, body clicked. Dog click. So what is happening is that the event that dog is generating is propagating to the parent as well. So when I click on dog, the event goes and does the click activated for the body as well, which I don't want. So whenever you don't want that, you will have to, okay, you got it. So I'll just don't waste any more time in that. I'll quickly delete all these things, right? So uncomment this one, uncomment this one. And I did not need this body or something because we had already done that before. But just for the question answer. Okay, right. So now see here, what is happening? I'm saying, now look at that. I'm saying that if someone clicks on the body of on the dog itself, the dog's SRC should be changed to a picture. So if I come and click on this one, so do you guys see that the picture has changed? I will show you again. I'm saying when someone clicks on this dog, the picture gets changed. And this is the new picture that is coming up over here. Did you guys understand that one? I'm saying that whenever someone clicks on this dog, now I can do this. I told you that I can do this with the dog, or I can do this with one button. So why not? Why not? Let's do that with a button. Let's come back over here. And after this dog, let's create a button. For example, I'll say button and I'll give it an ID. Next, for example, next. And I'll say next picture. I have a button called next picture, right? And why not? Because pictures, I'll put a line break here so that it comes in the next picture. Now, do you guys understand that now I have a button with that ID next? So first thing, I would come over here and I would, as I selected the dog, I would select the next button. So I'll say var next is equal to document.query selector, query selector. And what is the query selector? Hash next, right? I've given the next. So next picture, next should be there. Now, instead of this being happening to the dog, for example, right now, I don't want any event with the dog for the time being. So I'm stop commenting out the dog function. And what I say is that if someone clicks on this button, so I will say next dot add event listener. When someone clicks on this button, run a function, right? And again, I'll call it handle click. Let's call it handle click. And now let's define the handle click function. Function handle click. And event, it will accept an event, right? Now see here. Now see here what I'm saying. I'm saying whenever someone clicks on this button, the source of this dog should be changed. And did I already access this dog in a variable? Do you guys understand that one? I have got this dog reference already there. So why not? Let's come to this function and I say dog.src should become the one that I have just, sorry. Dog.src should become, for example, let me just do that. Okay, just give me a second. It's giving an error. Let me, yeah. So I'll just come here and I'll say dog.src should become a new dog, for example, new picture. So for example, let's take back again from our dogs.js. So I want to copy this one. I'll copy this from this point, Control C. Now see here. Okay, how many of you understand this one now? That whenever someone will click on this button, the dog picture will change. Let's come and click on that one. Are you guys getting that one? When I click on this, the next picture comes on. Is that making sense to everyone? So I click on this one and the next picture comes up. Now, here is a very interesting thing. When I click on this one, the next picture comes, but I want to have another picture. Again, all those pictures that are in my dogs.js. Now see here what I will do. A very interesting thing. I will come here and I would, in my HTML, I will come here and I will add another script. I'll say script src is equal to /scripts/dog.js. Are you guys getting that one? I am trying to access the dogs array that I have defined in my file over here in the dogs.js. So if I want to use this array, I will include the script over here as well. So I can include any number of scripts, by the way, as much as I want. Are you guys getting that one? Now, who understand this? In a script, I say rather than changing src to a solid URL, if I just come here and I say dog.src is equal to dogs of 0. How many of you understand this one? Because I'm taking you to somewhere very interesting. If I click on this next picture, I get this next picture. I don't know where it is coming from. It's actually coming from dogs of 0. The first picture is basically being changed over here. How many of you understand? Why is the picture changing on the button click? Brandon, that's a very good question. Brandon, do you see here? Look at that, Brandon. Brandon, what I did? I got the reference of this next button. Do you remember, Brandon? We had a next button on our page. I got the reference of that one in JavaScript with a variable. After that, I attached an event with this next button, handle click. And in handle click, I'm saying dot.src is equal to dogs of 0. So Brandon, why it is working? Because when I have applied that action on this button, you see, because button is the next. And Brendan, you got it? Wonderful. So Jennifer, did you enjoy? Jana, do you enjoy that? So this is very interesting. And you know where I'm taking you. I can even say dog of 2, for example, dog of 2. If I click on this one, now the next picture comes dog of 2, whatever is dog of 2, because we have got an array of dogs. Now, how many of you understand if I do something like this? I come here and I say, I will make another function next dog image URL. Call this function, and this function will return a new URL every time you will call this one. Let's see how many of you understand. I'll define this function now. Again, that weird behavior of JavaScript, image URL. I'm defining a function after I've called it. Next dog image URL. Okay, what it will do? It will take the, for example, let's define a variable var current dog index equal to 0. Let's define a variable before the function. So what it does, it just does what? Whenever this function is called, it says that current dog index plus plus. First of all, it does this one. And then it does what? It says return. Look at that. Return what? Dogs of current dog index. How many of you understood this one? That would be definitely lovely if you understand this one. So Jana, look at that. Where current dogs is equal to 0, I've just defined a variable 0. And whenever this function is called next dog image URL, it will increment the variable 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 2 to 4, whatever. And after that, it will return that picture with this URL, current image, current dog URL. Now let's see how many of you understood this one. If I click on this one, I get this picture. You see that? Of course, now it is gone because I'll tell you that I have to make it a wraparound. So you see that when I click on this one, I'm getting a new picture. I'll stop here. I'll stop here and I'll ask you guys understand that one? This is quite interesting and this is wonderful thing. And this is something real cool stuff that we are doing. Jana is getting that one. I would like everyone to just let's jump in and let me know that if you are guys are with me, because I can see some thumbs up. Very cool, Corina. That's wonderful. Thank you, Corina. Corina, it means you understand that one. I do understand the process, but I got a question. Valentine, go ahead. Go ahead. Ask the question. Ask the question. Wonderful.
It might be better if I say it. I don't want to waste time typing. So when you look at the handle click function, it has a parameter E inside.
Yeah.
And when we call it in the add event listener method, the click, handle click, we don't see nothing. I know it's a syntactical
Wonderful,
thing.
Valentine. Valentine, can you be unmuted for a second? Because I want to talk to you. You will definitely understand. So listen, Valentine. Valentine, actually what happens is that this is one way of using, or I'll just make it bigger. Actually, to attach events to some of the elements, we use this syntax that we just give the name of the function. And while defining that function, we say, because I have attached an event. So when someone will click on that, this click event would be generated over there. Are you getting that one? And do you remember, Valentine, we did something very interesting. You remember I used this e.clientX last time. If you remember, that was the X value of our, you remember it, right? So what I can do, since I'm not using this E over here, but always remember that we will use this E for stop propagation, and at some times we'll be needing some more important things over there. So stop propagation is one thing that I will definitely do with this one, because I don't want the events of this handle click to go behind. So this is the syntax of calling a function. This makes our life easier because we just name the function over here and we define that function separately. Now here, if you look at that, I am calling the function next dog image URL. That comes over here, and we have a variable current docs index is equal to 0. And what this does is that it basically makes one increment and makes the picture. Now, who will tell me how can I fix this problem? I will be very happy with that guy. This is a problem that of course, when the pictures are over, there are 4 to 5 URLs. When the URLs are over, I get an error like, picture is not there. Can someone tell me how can I wrap around these pictures? Like again, after this next picture, if I do that. Natalina, wonderful. Yes, of course, it should be a loop, but who will tell me what should I do in the script to do that? That's wonderful. Even you nailed it. Even I'll tell you, even it's almost near to that one. Look at that. If current dog index equals. Now, if I write 4, even that would become a problem because I don't know how many URLs are there. There might be thousands of URL. So I won't do that one. Rather, I would do a little trick. Dogs.length -1. Do you guys remember this logic? Dogs.length -1, array.length -1. Array.length -1 means whatever is the length of the array -1 index, because always index is 1 minus. If this happens, do what? If this happens, do what? Current dog index equal to 0. How many of you got it? This is cool. Like, look at that. I'm clicking on that, picture goes, and now I got the first picture as well. I keep on clicking that, I keep on getting the pictures. Are you guys getting that one? I hope you guys are understanding this. This is quite cool. And this is the real JavaScript stuff that we are just doing now. That's real fun stuff. And how did you connect both JS pages, or is that done? No. Brendan, look at that. Brendan, you missed that part. I'll show you complete page. Look at the bottom, Brendan. I have connected both scripts over here. Script src is equal to Script.js or script src is equal to docs.js. Yes, exactly, Valentine. It becomes zero, like it becomes zero again, and it becomes a wraparound effect. Valentine, it becomes a wraparound effect, right? Wraparound. Look at that. Now something quite more interesting than this one. I do want one more thing. I will have one more button over here. I'll come here on my HTML and I'll bring another button and I'll give it an ID of more pictures. Like, right, more. I'll say load URLs. I have a button called load URLs. Listen, what is the purpose? When I click on load URLs, whatever URLs are there in my dogs picture, dogs.js, those should come over here and they should be appearing over here in an ordered or unordered list. Did you guys get what I'm trying to say here? I'm trying to say here is that when I say load URL, all the URLs from the dogs.js should appear over here, and I can see them by myself that these are over here. Did you guys a little idea? So for that, look at that in HTML. I'll come here. So I'm saying load URL and I need an area to access those pictures. So I'll define an area for URL dash list, for example. I will list my URLs over here. Now look at that, what I want. I hope I'll give you a quick idea of that one. I want that an OL should be created, ordered list should be created, and each li should have one URL from here. And I will make it comment. I just want to show you because I will be doing that through the script. One li should have this one. Then another li should have this one. Are you guys getting that one? I want this OL to appear over here. And I want to bring all those URLs over here in the li's form. Like, first of all, if I uncomment that, I'll show you. You see, one of the images, like, one of the URL is coming over here, but not with this hard code. I will use my JavaScript to automatically go read the list and create this for me. Did you guys understood the purpose? First of all, can I have a thumbs up? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Automatically go to doc.js, read all the URLs, make a new like ordered list over here. In ordered list, you have to just produce that one over here. Wonderful. That's wonderful. I can see a lot of people are giving thumbs up. Now here will be some serious JavaScript being involved. Now let's come back over here. We are till this point. What we are doing, next picture is showing us next picture. Good. Looks fine. But now I want to do something. Look at it over here. How many of you are understanding this one? I would say dogs dot for each. I'll end up for each value of the dog, run a function. And when dog value will come, I'll call it URL. One value as URL. Did you guys understand that one? First of all, oh, sorry. I'll have to do that. But first of all, do I need to catch this load URL button? Sorry, I forgot that one. So I have to catch, first of all, this load URL button, this one, right? So let's go back over here and catch this button. So I'll say var load equal to document dot query selector. And what is that? Load. I've given the load ID. Yes, load ID, right? Load. Access the load element. And now load dot add event listener. Click. When someone clicks on this load URLs function should be called load URLs. And that function I will create now. Function load URLs. And again, it will generate, it will take an event. So I'll pass an E as well, event. And let's first of all, and again, always debug your, I'll console and check whether this load URL is working fine or not. Console.log load URL working. Look at that. I'm just checking that one. So look, go to inspector. and I want to check whether my button is working fine or not. I'll go to console and I'll click on load URL. Okay, cannot read. You see, cannot read properties of null. It means it is not accessing. What is the mistake? I know my mistake. It is not, it says that null. It means that it is not finding the load over there on the page. I have made a mistake, which was unintentional, but now I know that what is the mistake. Exactly, Corina. That's very smart of you. That's very smart of you. Yes, this is missing. You need, yes, exactly. For query selector, we need a hash. Thank you very much for reminding. Yes, now see here. Now if I click on this your load URL, you see load URL working. Corina and Amy, thank you very much. And this is very nice. So you see that load URL is working. It means I'm good to go. I will remove this console from here. And now I'll write the real code. Look at that, how I'll do that. I will say, take the dogs and apply a for each on the dogs because it's an array. Run a function on each value of the dog, dogs.url. Did you guys understand this concept? Dogs is a collection. Take the dogs collection. For each value of dogs, run this function, taking one value and calling one value as URL. Can I have a thumbs up from everyone? And this function will run. I'll write the function later on, but I want to run this function over here. Can I have a thumbs up from you guys? You understand what we are doing? Take the dog, every dog URL and do something over here. Right? Wonderful. For every URL, you have to do something. Now, what I would like to do. So for example, I would first of all, let's do something, because here I have to create an ordered list where I'll take each URL and put that in that one. So you remember, I will take an ordered list. So to create an ordered list, even before this function, I'll come over here and I'll do something. I'll say var ol is equal to document dot create element ol. Because ordered list will be created only once and LIs will be created multiple times. Are you guys getting that one? Why not I'm putting this OL inside this one? Because this will be handling the URLs, this function. So what I'm doing is that I am just defining that even before that you are, or rather, what should I do? I can define, sorry, I have to define it inside this function, but look at that. I'll show you. First of all, create an ordered list. Document.create element. Do you guys remember document.create element? Ordered list is created. Now, for every value of this URL, like the dogs, you have to create an LI. So let's see what I'll do. Var LI is equal to document.create element LI. Are you guys getting that one? Now, next step, I would say li dot inner HTML, inner text. I've not talked about inner HTML. I'll talk about that today as well. I will say inner text is equal to URL. Put URL as the inner text of that one. Now, OL is created. It was created before our the for each. And in the for each, I'm passing one URL at a time. For every URL, I'm creating one LI. And after putting that LI, I'm putting that URL inside that one. One step is remaining. Anyone? Do I need to put this OL dot append child LI? The LI that you have created, put that in the append child of LI. Are you guys getting that one? When this will be completed, the for each will be completed. Do you know, as much as URLs are there in the dogs, it would have created as much as LIs, and every LI will have inner text of that same URL, and every LI would be appended to the OL. And just to check that one, if I just come here and I say console.log, what is OL at this point of time? After completion, what is OL? Look at that. I'm not pasting that over there, but first of all, I'm showing you there. If I just go to console, and if I click on this button, look at that. I've got an OL, this OL. What is inside that? This OL has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 LIs. Every LI has one URL inside that one. Valentine's is cool. Is it cool for everyone, or it has become a bit hot for for others? Because we have we have cooked up the OL by running a loop, running through the URL, and we have cooked up an OL over here. Right? Austin says this is very cool. Now the last part, and again, I would definitely repeat that. I know there's some. So I have an ID div. So again, I had to do this one. I have automatically done that. So I'll just remove that. I have a URL dash list ID over here. How many of you understand this one? I'll ask you. Rather than consoling that, I would do something. I would say document dot query selector hash URL list dot append child OL. How many of you understood this one? And I hope that will really blow away some of your minds. If I just come here and I say load URL, look at that. So div URL list, I have a div URL list over here. I just copied it from here. I'll save that. So if I click on that one, it just goes to this area URL list and append the child. What child? The OL that we have cooked up over here. I'm stopping here because I want everyone to jump in. Alan, I can understand that. Alan, I will repeat that. Don't worry. I will repeat that. But how many of you understood this one? Like, how many of you feel that you are around 80 to 90% of the understanding of this one, this code? This code is quite. Yes, Patrick. Sure. Alan, Ethan says yes. Valentine says yes. Valentine understand that one. Austin, I hope you understand that as well. Like, the code that we have just done that right now. Now, I would like to tell you just last one thing today. Inner text. We have used this inner text. I created an LI and used this inner text. Now, this inner text can be inner HTML as well. Picture loops. It does not go back to the original photo. Jennifer, that's a very good point. You are right. It does not go to the real picture because that you need to handle by your code. Actually, what I've done, I've not taken care of that picture. You are right. The main picture does not come because that is a static picture on our main page. So what can happen is Jennifer is very smart. So Jennifer, last picture, it skips the last picture. Okay, Laura, I'll check that one. So what you can do is over here, rather than putting the images over here, why not let's you might want to just have a URL from that one and just do that. And again, it's up to you what you want to do. Maybe you want to call it a script over here. Why does it skip the last one? That's the interesting question. 2, 3, 4. It skips the last one. So for that I'll have to just come here and maybe check if I'm just doing something wrong here. So rather than -1, if I take it to the just length, docs.length, let's do that. Now it is showing that one. So length -1, it was just skipping the last one. Lauren, you understand? Now it is just giving that last picture as well. And again, yes, that's the point, that the main picture does not come over there. Anyhow, so now I want to tell you last thing about that inner text. This is one property that we can set up for any of these things. I'll just show you that over here because that will make much more sense to you. I want to show you some real rapid code. So I'll just come here. So if I say var li equal to document dot create element, create an li. Now look at that. I have an li element over here. I want to show you something very interesting. If I say li dot inner text equal to hello, right? And if I write hello, li will be with hello. Make sense, everyone? Li is with a hello. Now, there is another property which is called inner HTML. And you will very quickly understand the difference. What is the inner HTML property? Inner HTML allows us to put HTML inside the content as well. strong hello? How many of you guys are in? I'll just show you an example. If I say now, if I you see that it is just coming up over it. If I say li will have a strong, and it will execute like an HTML. Like an HTML, it will render this li because HTML was there. Now, if on the other hand, if I say li dot inner text is equal to strong and this one, if I say inner text, how many of you guys are understanding the difference? If I write li, look at that. How many of you understand both differences? Here, this maroon color shows that this strong will be, it will be like, it will be rendered as an HTML. And here this strong black means it will just print out over there. Did you guys understand that one? I wanted to tell you something, and I'll show you this over here. Now, if I come here and rather than putting inner text, I say inner HTML, and I put, let's take a backtick because we have HTML over here. So I would say strong, and let's put and if I want to put URL, I'll have to use the string interpolation strong. Now look at that. I'll give you this example over here. Now look at my output. All of them are strong, like bold. Exactly. And if I made by mistake, if I make it inner text, look at that. Look at that. You see, strong is coming as a text. So text means it just takes anything raw text and just displays that. But if it is inner HTML, and that we will be using a lot, if it is inner HTML, it will render that as strong rather than showing that. Lauren, is that making sense to you? And again, everyone, is it making sense to you guys? Exactly. That's a wonderful question. And I was about to come to that question. Rather than putting that one, and you could always do that even, and that's wonderful thing. But what I want to share here? I want to share something very interesting. If I come here, look at that what I'm doing. If I write anchor tag and I say href is equal to, and I put a $sign curly bracket closing, and I put URL, and again I can put a double quotation around that as well. Double quotation URL, and I put that one, and I put an anchor over here. Look at that. How many of you understand this one? If I click on this, look at that. All of them are linked, and not only linked, they're linked to the original picture. Load URL, click on this, you load original picture. Even, did you understand? You are right, even we could have done that one. We could have done that directly as well. But I intentionally did not do that. Even, do you understand? And what can be the bigger form of this one as well? You can create another anchor tag, and you can make inner text of anchor tag is equal to URL. And then how many of you understood this line? Inner HTML is equal to anchor, href is equal to URL. So whatever URL is coming, link it with itself. Link it with itself, and it is linked with itself. How many of you are of the same emoji that Alan shared a few minutes before? The mind blown away. Yes, exactly. There are so many dynamics to the syntax. Right, you're right. Whatever works for you, fine. Valentine, you can do that. Whatever works for you, fine. And by the way, don't worry about this one. I will be sharing some DOM practice questions with you guys. DOM practice. This is so wonderful, DOM. And now there is one more thing that I would like to really discuss over here, because some of you might be having a little harder time in understanding the concept. So I'll do something for them, and I want to do that right now because you will really enjoy that. Let me just do a little thing over here. So if I come here, let me show you something very interesting. If I come here and after inside this debug, like inside this one, if I write debug, debugger, right? And I click on this load URL. Look at that, what has happened. I put the debugger, and this is something very cool. It's for everyone, and please, try to understand that one. You will really enjoy that. Okay, just let me have a look at that one. Okay, if I show you, Debugger is not defined. Okay. Let me just delete. Oh. Debugger. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you for reminding that. Okay, it's coming up over here and it's not stopping there. Let me just show that. Okay. Okay, DOM content loaded. I want to go to the call stack, maybe DOM breakpoints. There are no breakpoints. Okay, I would like to put some breakpoints over here. Okay, I'll just let you know guys later on, because I just did not mention this. So I'll talk about this debugger and you'll really enjoy that. Next session, I'll show you how to debug that one and how we can just make that happen. All right, so in the end, last question, are we good for another maybe session on Friday? Because we have got a lot of topics to discover and we are running out of time, because next week is almost off, like other than Thursday and Friday, we are all off for the next week. So are you guys okay with another session on Friday, maybe for this one or the React part? Because this is so cool. I think you should be enjoying this part of this one, right? Okay, Valentine, I'll just announce that if it is there. So do you have any sessions, seminar sessions on that day? Do you have any seminar sessions? If yes, what time? At 1. Okay, so I'll try to keep my same time, same 11 or 11:30. CSCU class from Ellen. So Ellen, if we do that 11, would that be okay with you? 11. It would be a hard, a hectic day for you, by the way, because you will have one class and then this class and then, okay. I hope that you would cope with this one, right? Okay. Anyhow, so thank you very much, everyone, for joining in. Yes, exactly. Yes, Jay, they are all recorded. They are all recorded. You can find their recordings over there. No. Yes, Patrick, I'm hanging around. Don't worry. I'm there. You can ask that private question and I can have a private. So we are done with the topic today. And I'll just make a the commit here. I'll make a commit here of October 11. Okay, sure. Yes, so go ahead, Patrick, and ask question. So everyone else, thank you very much for joining in. If you want to stay here. If you want to leave, you can. Okay, Corina, thank you very much.
All right, so how you doing today?
Yes, I'm wonderful. Yeah.
Perfect. So I actually I can either share my screen, or I just had a quick question anyways about on the QAP, you said only thing to consider is you should not use element as it's obsolete now. And I was kind of wondering